Now, for the moment that you've been waiting for.
Bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. I have not. I, I I've watched some of the interviews on Radio Row, but the interviews that I've watched have nothing to do with the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like I haven't had any Super Bowl coverage.
The
I think
look
I'm really that fake.
the only Super Bowl coverage interviews that I've watched is when Jameis was asking players questions. Like I don't care. So look, and it's so crazy because the last time these two teams played, I didn't watch the Super Bowl. And so now I don't care about this Super Bowl. I don't. I don't. I I hope it ends in a tie. Same thing I said about the last time they played the Super Bowl. And I just I really don't care for like either like, hey, whoever wins, sure.
All right, but I have a question though. So
Okay.
and
I have an answer.
it's too. I want chat to chime in as well. And this has nothing to do with the NFL rigging the game. So I'm going to go ahead, just let that disclaimer out there. But my question is, what team does the NFL want to win? Or let me rephrase that. What team does the NFL need to win? That's the better one. That's the one. What team does the NFL need to win?
The Chiefs.
I'm so glad you said that.
Why?
Please explain. Please.
The Chiefs, unfortunately, damn, Miss King said it right here. The Chiefs, unfortunately, the same time I said it, the Chiefs, unfortunately, the reason why I say that is because kind of what they've been doing and how often they've been showing this the whole Travis Kelsey, Taylor Swift thing, the Patrick Mahomes greatness thing. And it's just like it almost is like it continues, and then the repeat.
Mhm.
That's one like we don't see that. And so now it's gonna be one of those things that you get to talk about Chiefs. It's gonna to me it's going to prop up the conversation and the talking heads again. Oh, Patrick Mahomes, is he, where is he in the GOAT conversation? Has he overtaken Brady? Is this? Is this that? Is this with the new TV deal and this and that? And the reason why I say that also is because the Philadelphia market is already the Philadelphia market. It's already gonna blow. Just like in other sports, like the big markets are always gonna be the big markets. Now, when you could actually get a whole bunch of eyes focused on a mid to small market now too, it's like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, we just now we print money hand over fist. We got Travis Kelsey's jerseys flying off the rack. For all the little Swifties, we got Patrick Mahomes jerseys flying off the rack. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so to me, I think the narrative fits better with the Chiefs winning, and I think it's a more sellable play because now it's still more consistent, talk with that because you have the more consistent franchise in a sense. And then also the AFC is a better conference. So now it's, can anybody overtake Patrick Mahomes? Is it going to, and that continues with the Josh Allen, that continues with the Lamar Jackson, it continues with the Joe Burrow. Can CJ Stroud step up? Who knows? Like, hey, if Cam Ward get into the goddamn Titans, hey, can Cam Ward do something? Hey, is Trevor Lawrence ever going to be able to do anything? And it's just going to be able to be like, hey, that's where, like, we were just talking about it before we got on the show. The quarterback is the glory position. That's where all the glory positions are, and I mean that's where all the quarterbacks are. So now it's almost like the king of the hill is still the king of the hill, and then now you go into another season of, can anybody overtake them? The NFC, the Eagles, and all of that, their fan base is always going to be their fan base. The Eagles are in there, and people still talking about Jaden Daniels. Cowboys still leading first take and undisputed, or whatever. They ain't even undisputed no more. Speak for yourself or speak for each other, whatever the case may be. They still talking about the Giants. Should they have let Saquon Barkley go? You know what I'm saying? So to me, I think for the NFL and like to continue this. I think to keep it as it's going, because people loved it. People love greatness and people hate greatness.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why I say the Chiefs. No, not even why I think. That's why I confidently say the Chiefs.
And I'm glad. I'm glad we on different sides of this, and I'm glad. I'm crazy that I'm the only one that think this way. I think the NFL desperately needs the Eagles to win. And when I say that, and when if the Chiefs win, right, we've already heard whole conversations of, well, how do we beat the Chiefs? How do you beat the Chiefs? Yes, I get it. The Bengals are the toughest matchup for the Chiefs. They have, but at this point, it's to get to the point where, how do you beat the Chiefs? And we keep seeing lesser versions of the Chiefs, and they're still winning. So what I mean by them needing the Eagles to win is it shows you what team building actually is. It shows you, okay, the GM actually put in work and put a whole team together. Oh, it changes that misnomer of, oh, you just need an elite quarterback to win the Super Bowl. Because if Jalen Hurts wins the Super Bowl with the Eagles,
it's going to be a lot of Super Bowls in New Orleans.
He's not an elite quarterback. So that shows you, that opens the whole wave of other teams feeling like, hey, you know what? If we just build this team the right way, and we have a quarterback, I'm not taking any shots at Jalen Hurts, but I'm saying,
no, I'm laughing at.
Oh yeah, it's Jermaine
glitching.
But it shows that, okay, we put the pieces around him. Now we can build the team the right way, and just instead of just looking at it like, hey, I got a quarterback. I got an elite quarterback. That's all I
here's
need.
the thing, though.
And before you go, because think about it. Now we sitting here, all we keep saying is, oh, you need an elite quarterback to win to win. Let's use your team for example. If all that this is going to take is an elite quarterback, then that doesn't give your front office an incentive to go out here and try to build a team. They've done all the hard work. We have an elite quarterback. What does the Bills have to do? I have an elite quarterback. Now it takes the fact that if the Chiefs win again, now you're speaking of what are we doing this for?
But here's
what incentive does the front office, because they say, hey, I don't have a Patrick Mahomes. What am I doing this for?
But my pushback is also the Chiefs also don't be sitting on their hands with an elite quarterback, and they have the elite of the elite quarterback. When they identify a need, they go make it happen. They needed a wide receiver. All right, cool. We'll go draft one, and we ain't been able to draft one, really good. So guess what? We'll go get goddamn DeAndre Hopkins. Damn, mine went blank. We've been drafting well, but we also spend money. We bring in free agents. We do all of this because let's not forget, a couple iterations ago, they also brought in they were making free agent moves and trades, and we was like, God damn, where are they getting all this money from? They were signing people and everything. So it wasn't just like, oh, they drafted a Patrick Mahomes and everything worked out. You know what I mean? They also went and got players. And that's what, and to me, that showed teams too, where it's like, hey, go make things happen. Even the same thing when we were in the draft. I said it about my team. You draft Penei Sewell to win the AFC North. You draft Jamar Chase to win a Super Bowl and beat the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I said that.
Yeah, you did.
And the same thing is like, hey, it's about what you need, what you have to identify on your roster. And even if the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl, they've gotten here strictly because everybody talks about what Howie Roseman does. And I understand what you're saying, that people like GMs need to see just because we have a good quarterback, we can't sit on our hands. The Texans, guess what? They had CJ Stroud. They still said, hey, let's go make a move for Stephon Diggs. Let's it wasn't like they just stood still. The Baltimore Ravens, they didn't just sit still. They went and got Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And they brought in other pieces. The Buffalo Bills, they lost, but it wasn't like they were just like, oh, we got Lamar Jackson. That's it. Like with Lamar Jackson, oh, our running game is going to be the number one regardless because we got Lamar Jackson. We was already out there with Gus, like you said, Gus Edwards, and we was the number one rushing offense. Like teams are still going forward.
Yeah, and they're losing.
Just because it just happens. It wasn't like they're sitting on their hands and they're losing.
Listen to me.
That's different.
Listen to me. What more does the Philadelphia Eagles have to do to this roster to win a Super Bowl?
What does any of these teams have to do, bro?
No. I'm specifically singling out the Eagles right now. And pay attention. What do the Philadelphia Eagles have to do with their roster to make this better for them to win a Super Bowl?
Upgrade their quarterback.
All right. You can't just go get. Thank you. Just prove my point. You can't just go get them. No. So thank you. Hold on. You just answered it. You just said upgrade your quarterback. But if they win, now they're showing other teams that, hey, you know what? We can build our team the right way instead of just sitting on our hands and relying on the quarterback.
But that's not how. But see, that's why you can't say I proved your point, because the teams that I just told you, they didn't sit on their hands either, and they still lost. Not every team is going to hit on every draft. Somehow the Eagles have hit on a lot of their draft picks and a lot of their free agents. But just because you go out and make free agent, acquisitions, and just because you go out and make draft picks, don't necessarily mean they're gonna hit. Shit, the Kansas City Chiefs, they hit on damn near every draft pick on the defense that they had, and that's how they was able to create this iteration of this team that's winning now. And they moved on from some of their pieces. They still trying to replace Tyreek Hill. They haven't done that yet, but they still have the greatest coach in the league and the greatest quarterback in the league. So that's why it's just like they're already 10 steps ahead of every other team when they step on the field. Lamar Jackson played great. Derrick Henry, he was great. Their offensive line was really good. Their defense, it struggled, but then it came on late and got better, but it still wasn't enough because they still made moves. And like I said, there are some things that just happen when it comes to attrition, because you look at it, the Eagles might not even really should be here. It really should have been the Detroit Lions if you want to, depending on how and we talk about how team building goes, because but they drafted, and it just they didn't sit on their hands. You can't say the Ravens sat on their hands and just relied on Lamar, but they still lost. And even to me, I still think the best two teams in football this season were the Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions. Neither one of them is here. And so it just comes down to it.
And if they, and once again, my response is not about to be I won this argument type of response. So don't take it that way. But my thing is, if the Chiefs win, they sitting back like, well, what else can we do? Bro, the Bills went for it. Let's be honest. They went for it. And they lost twice in the playoffs with this team that they went for it. They went on a retool year. They weren't even supposed to be here. And they got to the AFC Championship. They had the MVP, and they still could not beat the Chiefs. So if the Chiefs,
but it's the same thing about the Patriots. Teams was going for it.
Hold on. What happened was they didn't win it every year. The Patriots didn't win it every year. They competed every year. They don't have a three-peat.
The Chiefs don't have a three-peat right now either. But I'm saying
that's the premise of the question, sir.
Yeah,
that's the premise of the question.
But even if they do get a three-peat, it ain't no different than what the other teams was doing, when the Patriots was in their dominance. Because some of the times that they ended the three-peat, it was against the Giants
that had a blueprint on how to beat this team.
Yeah, and guess what? There are teams that have blueprints, but then just sometimes when you get on the field, that shit don't necessarily work either. Because you would have thought, oh, the Bengals got the blueprint to beat the Chiefs. We ain't got no Super Bowls to show for it. The Eagles played an amazing game. The first Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have thought like, oh shit, they don't got no Super Bowl from that.
It goes to the point that it starts to get into your head. It goes into your head. When teams play the Chiefs, it's in their head like, what do we have to do to beat this team? So if they come out here with a 3-P, you're sitting there as the front. I'm thinking about from a whole standpoint. If I'm looking
you think that if the Eagles can't beat the Chiefs, teams just gonna give up?
Yes.
No. So
Okay.
So you think the Ravens aren't gonna try and get over the hump again next year and do what it takes to beat the Chiefs?
It was one of, I mean, we're gonna expand on it in the offseason, but what we say on their post-mortem, we say, hey, it happens, dog. We said that.
Yeah, it happens. So we're gonna try and do what we can. Hey, look, like we're gonna go into the draft. They're gonna upgrade their team in the draft, and they're gonna try and go back at it again. They're gonna have to replay. They're probably gonna have to replace Ronnie Stanley. They're gonna try and replace some other players. They might get another cornerback and then be able to move Marlon Humphrey in the slot full time. Those are things where it's just like, hey, trying to beat the Chiefs.
But we also hold the Ravens at a high standard as an organization.
Yeah.
Who's to say that the Steelers just say, hey, bro, we ain't got Patrick Mahomes, dog. We ain't got a chance.
We don't think the Steelers got a chance anyway. But that's what we talk about. Teams that are contenders. Teams that are contenders are always going to they're trying to contend. Teams that have an aspect of like, okay, like our roster can do this. Like even if a Steelers fans look like, okay, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. We don't believe like, hey, y'all not a contender. You're going to try and get better. You're going to try and get on the field to do certain things, but we know that you can't do that. But when we're talking about contenders, we're looking at the contenders like, these contenders aren't just about to stop and be like, oh, what are we supposed to do and give up?
The style of play that the Eagles are playing right now is Steelers football.
But they don't have the Eagles players.
Thank you.
So you think they're not? So you think the Steelers are not going to try and like, oh, we're not going to try and acquire players like that? They've tried to do certain things, but it just didn't work.
Have you? But we do know Steelers fans, right? We do hear them talk, right?
Yes, they think the con man does all of that, and they like player acquisition. Stuff don't work. Stuff don't work. It don't mean you ain't trying.
Listen to me. They feel that they just need an elite quarterback. An elite quarterback fixes a lot of their woes. They feel this way. They really feel this way. And a lot of teams feel
think
this way.
that.
No. A lot of teams feel this way.
Yes, a lot of elite. But how many times have we said on this podcast, no team is just one quarterback away? We've said that on this podcast.
And that's why they need the Eagles to win. That's my point.
The Eagles winning don't change nothing.
It changes a lot.
No, it don't, because these teams are still going to try and build their roster, and everybody who doesn't have a quarterback is still going to try and do it. They're still going to try and go get a quarterback. It's the reason why teams pay these mediocre quarterbacks, because these coaches think I can get something out of him that these other coaches can't.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
No, it sounds good.
We have this argument all the time about teams really not trying.
Yes, but we've also talked about teams that actually try. They go for it. That's why we talk about these teams like that.
That's only a few teams every year.
And that's why they're contenders. We're not talking about these other teams that aren't contenders, because they do the same shit over and over. We only that's what I said. Oh yeah, like the Eagles win and don't change none of these other people, these other teams that believe they're contenders philosophy. Those teams are still going to try and win it. They're still going to try and acquire players. The teams in the AFC are still going to try and acquire players to get better, to beat the Chiefs. The Chargers are going to acquire players so they can try and beat the Chiefs. The Chargers think that they have a legit quarterback. They have an elite quarterback. They believe that. They went and got a coach that they feel is elite. And so they're going to go and acquire players because they have the quarterback to try and do it.
Players.
Yes.
but they feel that they're going to try. They feel they have an elite quarterback.
Yes,
Teams move. Why did the Rams move off of Jared Goff?
because they want another elite quarterback.
All right.
What you just said because Jalen Hurts isn't elite. What are you talking about?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. If they would feel that they could win with Jared Goff, if a quarterback like Jalen Hurts won, because he's not an elite.
We've seen not elite quarterbacks win before. That ain't never changed shit.
Changes a lot.
No, it don't. No,
Those
it
teams-
don't.
those teams
If Sam Darnold won the Super Bowl, this year? What would it change?
It showed what they did. They did a lot in that offseason.
Yes.
They put a team around him.
Did the Texans not put a team around CJ Stroud and then they got worse?
Yeah, they attempted to put a team around him. They also did. That's also on a rookie contract that you love to do. You love to build your team up on a rookie contract. It's one of your team building philosophies.
Oh, okay, but there's tons of teams that aren't on
So name
rookie contract. The Cincinnati Bengals. They signed. They thought they were making moves to go for it by bringing in Sheldon Rankins, by paying Geno Stone, by they brought back Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt. They signed or like they had Orlando Brown. They went out and signed other players. They brought in Mike Gesicki. They thought these were moves that were going to take them over the top because guess what? We already going to do it. And guess what? It still didn't work. They didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, this year, but they're one of the teams that feel that they one of the teams that beat the Chiefs. These one of the teams that the Chiefs are worried about. The Chiefs don't talk about nobody else. The Chiefs don't talk about the Bills. Chiefs don't talk about the Ravens, but they talk about the Bengals. They say who they talk to the toughest quarterback. So of course, y'all made an attempt because y'all thought y'all could beat the Chiefs. Y'all
but in reverse, you think the Ravens don't be worried about us? The Ravens kick our ass every game. The Ravens ain't worried about us. They made them moves to beat the Chiefs, and they didn't even get there. They lost to the Chiefs by a toenail.
Mm-hmm.
They made their moves to beat the Chiefs. They didn't even get to play them.
Mm-hmm.
And they got an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
All right. Who you got for the Super Bowl? Because this ain't going nowhere. Because your argument is contradictory.
It's not contradictory. I'm not.
Yes, it is.
It's really not. We just looking at it from two different sides, my brother.
I guess.
We can see. I mean, but at the end of the day, you're arguing about contending teams doing what they do. We praise these organizations for a reason. Like, okay, what is other teams that what are they doing all the time? Like, but you didn't name none of those teams. But
because they always doing the same thing. It ain't like the Eagles aren't an always contending team. Now, maybe if you said like the Commanders and we need Jaden Daniels to win it, then maybe that's a little bit different. The Eagles constantly doing stuff to go for it. It's the same thing that the Rams was doing. We was just talking about the Rams. Oh, fuck them picks. And they went for it and got their championship. And then guess what? They retooled and now they start drafting players and thought that they were about to rebuild and they were still competitive. But if the Chiefs win, that ain't about to change. That if the Chiefs win or the Eagles win, that ain't about to change nothing in the NFL on how teams roster build. We've always said these teams are stuck in their ways anyway. However you do it, they always gonna do it. We've been seeing the Eagles' success year after year after year, just getting close. We've talked about the Eagles' success and what they've been doing just to remain like consistently close, and these teams still don't do it. We've seen Howie Roseman do other stuff, and they won it with a backup, and it never changed nobody's thoughts. It never changed anything. It ain't changed. Like we've seen Howie Roseman make the salary cap work over and over and over, and these teams still don't change nothing. The Bengals are supposed to be contenders, but it don't change how they do their salary cap. People thought the Green Bay Packers could have been there. It didn't change how the Green Bay Packers, do things.
They did. They went, but they
not as far, but not super crazy money. They brought in Xavier McKinney and stuff like that, but they didn't do what the Eagles did, and the Eagles have been consistently there.
We've said this on this pod that teams that have won don't deviate from how they won. Right? We said that. Well, I said it. I know I've said
yes,
you
said that.
Teams that have won. I mean, you agreed with me at the time when I said it.
Right. But
Teams,
here's my thing. But here's my thing though.
Teams that have
The
won.
Eagles have won, right? The Eagles have won.
Yeah, and they've been operating the same way.
So why ain't nobody else been like, damn, the Eagles they've won and they're always in contention?
Because they only won one time. Everybody can win one time. Not everybody.
Not everybody.
Okay.
Not everybody.
Okay, AJ. I stopped myself when I said it. Okay. But teams that won one time. Okay. It's different. People don't do that part.
But here's the thing. You say teams who win don't change how they win. The Rams won one way and they're attempting to win a different way right now.
Yeah. They are. Because they won. They can do this thing now. They've done they've done so many F those pick go for it years for so long that at this point, yes, they have to try a different way. They've done it they've tried that way for so long that did not work. The go for it method that a lot of teams try to implement. But try to win one.
But here's my thing. Here's my thing. They also tried it the same way that you talking about it with Jared Goff, and they didn't. So they went and got the elite quarterback. And so
you are proving my point, my brother.
No, I'm not.
Maybe you are not understanding my point, because if they would have won with Jared Goff, they would have been feeling that they don't need an elite quarterback, but they felt that they needed an elite quarterback to go get one. It's the reason why the 49ers moved off from Jimmy G, because they thought they needed an elite quarterback to get them over the hump. And if they would have won, I've been making the same exact argument. If they would have won with Brock Purdy, who is not an elite quarterback, teams will be trying to build themselves a team instead of just trying to find an elite quarterback. Because it's easier to build an entire team than to just find an elite quarterback.
So teams aren't building their team at all, even without an elite quarterback.
You are better than this, bro. You are better.
You're not making sense, bro. I'm telling you,
you are not this stupid. At this point, you are not this
bro.
stupid.
You're not making your point is not making sense.
How is it not making sense, my brother?
Because I'm just telling you every single time. Like,
first off, hold on. They just got receivers for Lamar Jackson. You've been begging for years for them to get wide receivers, and they just got him weapons. It still didn't work. Then you are playing. I thought you was playing around. Now you're not getting it. Then you're really not.
All right.
And I get it, but it's other teams that's looking at this formula. I get it. You can look at these contending teams. These contending teams are the reason why we hold them to a standard. Yes, we hold the Ravens to a standard. We hold the Bills to a standard. Because they are a contending team. They have great organizations that do it. But it's a plethora of other teams that don't operate this way.
Yeah.
It's a reason why Seattle is trying to move off from Geno Smith. Because they haven't won with Geno Smith. And you just roll your eyes like, oh, it's Geno Smith. Because they don't have an elite quarterback. But if somebody would win with Jalen Hurts regular ass, then they would think about it differently. Teams don't win with these teams. Teams that don't win with this team, because all we hear is we need an elite quarterback. If we don't have an elite quarterback, we don't have a chance. You listen to some of these same exact shows that I hear, and they speak the same exact rhetoric. If they don't have an elite quarterback, they don't have a chance. If somebody like Jalen Hurts win, a lot of these teams will move differently and feel that they don't have a chance. I mean, they have a chance.
What I'm telling you is these teams, even the teams that don't have the elite quarterback, they're still trying to put players around their not elite quarterback and maximize it. But then guess what? Hey, when you're not an elite quarterback, you get some of those not elite quarterback performances. It's the same reason with Jared Goff, and we talked about this in the MVP race, and then what happened in the playoffs. Just because you have a good team around them, but sometimes when you're not an elite quarterback, guess what? It shows up that they're not elite. Everything has to go right. Every single thing has to go right for you to win without your not elite quarterback. And then the moment there's a chink in the armor or something doesn't go right, or there has to be certain things done off structure, it just happens. And hey, guess what? You don't have an elite quarterback. So guess what? I'm not saying don't try and build a team if you don't have an elite quarterback, but you're still going to want to try and find an elite quarterback. It's the same thing that I said about in basketball. Yeah. So what? Hey, the Warriors. Hey, we won 72 games, but guess what? We not gonna not try and get Kevin Durant because we didn't win.
And they became a dynasty. But if the Pistons became a dynasty, a team that only won one championship, a lot of teams would be trying to build their team like the Pistons. But they did not.
But they a lot of teams still couldn't build their team like the Pistons because they couldn't hit in drafts and free agency. Sometimes you do stuff and it don't work. We just went through them NBA trades and we was like, I mean, what are you like? What are you really doing here? Like,
yeah.
And so just because you are doing certain things doesn't mean it. A lot of times these contenders are contenders because they're competent.
That's correct.
You can hand somebody a recipe. Don't mean they gonna be able to make the cake the same way.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that point at all. That's a good point. That's not going towards your point at all. I mean, it's there, but that's a great separate point.
No, all right, sure.
Yeah, that's a great separate point.
Okay,
that is.
All right, so the big game is Sunday. We got the Eagles
and
Chiefs. We got the Eagles versus the Chiefs. I'm going with the Eagles just because, hey, forget Kermit the Frog. Forget Travis Kelce. Forget his wife. Forget his mama. His brother, all right. Taylor Swift.
Who brother, all right?
Travis, not Patrick.
Oh, I
been said Travis.
I had missed that.
I was not talking about Pat. But yeah, I'm going with the Eagles, man, and yeah, going with the Eagles, and I'm just excited for a Kendrick Lamar concert.
Okay, I ain't really excited about none of this, but
I just said Kendrick Lamar concert.
I ain't excited for it. I didn't already seen it. Like, you know what I'm saying? We've seen it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm going for the Chiefs. I do hope, like I've been saying for the whole entire playoffs, I wanted to see a good game, dog. Like, I really want to see a good game. Like, that's really all that really matters is seeing a good game. But I had the Chiefs, so I'm not betting against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna, regret it, but I don't care. I'm also going to put my money on the Chiefs just in case, because usually on the team that I bet on, they lose. So either
so I'm betting on the Eagles, so that's about to cancel all that out.
Either I win or I win.
Yeah. Okay. So same. So
it's all right. Now I guess I got to drop a little bit of a bag. I'll do it.
Oh, yeah,
I'll be the guy. I'll be the one to do it.
You go ahead and do that. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this game is a tale of two. Like, it is like a style clash coming together in a certain part, but we're gonna see. We're just gonna see, man. It's hard to give an analysis when like once again you got a team going for a 3-peat and they got some flaws, and we don't care. Cause they got an elite quarterback. They got that man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got that man.
Second best quarterback in the game.
and it's just gonna be funny, man. We just allowing another person on the other side to play like Jimmy G, and it's gonna be fine. Like, this is weird. Like,
is Big Dom gonna be on the field?
Yeah.
All right. I got some hope.
He was on the field last time.
Yeah, but hey,
Big Dom can't be your hope. That's the case.
I think it's a prop bet that Big Dom swing on somebody, so I'm gonna put $10 on that.
Big Dom get his big ass drop. Sold on nothing. I ain't sold on nothing Big Dom do. No,
I hope KC drop every damn pass. I hope it's 3 tipped interceptions. I hope Jalen Carter have a flu game and he get 3 sacks like Adrian Claiborne did against who was it? What's his name? Not it was some Green or Ball, something like
Yeah,
that.
it was Chaz Green, bro.
Chaz Green, yeah.
Of course, they get everybody. Oh, you got to bring the Cowboys. Why you got to bring the Cowboys?
You know what I mean? So I hope. Matter of fact, I need Josh Sweat to get a sack for Florida State. I need Johnny Wilson to catch a touchdown, and I need Cooper DeJean to get a pick 6 for all the white corners in the world, Jason Sehorn style.
Shouts out to Chris Jones. You know what to do. Shouts out to Trip McDuffie. You know what to do. Justin Reed. You know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do.
AJ Brown.
Yeah. This ain't Marshawn Lattimore. Yeah, this ain't Marshawn Lattimore. You can go and do what you want to do. This ain't Marshawn Lattimore.
Saquon, he got to make everybody forget about his wife tweets, dog. Like he about to run for 200 and 2 tutties. He said, "Hey, we ain't even doing the tush push today. I'm running this bitch from 60."
Yeah. Okay, and with the Chiefs stopping the quarterback sneak version of the tush push that the Bills did last week, does that give you pause to if you're the Eagles from like doing the tush push?
No.
Okay.
Because we've seen plenty of teams try to do it. But it's like the Eagles actually they have a lot more success. It's like Michael Jackson and then Flex Washington playing Michael Jackson. It's just like one is the original and the other is like
they are not that bad at running it. We are that ain't right now. I don't know what type of time you owe when you come to that, but
fuck all that. Nah.
Ain't no way. They went 17 for 20 to come to the quarterback sneak, and you compare them to, hey, you can catch a little all the podcast platform, 3-man weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3-man weave _ You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. I'm Hill. That's AJ. Some of y'all the 4s, some of y'all the Fab 5, and we will be back next week to discuss. We might have to have a part 2 of this discussion. You know what I'm saying? Next week, just depending on the outcome, but we'll see, man. Appreciate y'all. Did you hit the